So mine was Insanity 602 reporting to you with another video. And in this video, we're for day 2. I'm recording this exactly about 11 hours and 3 minutes. So in 11 hours and 3 minutes you will be, I've scheduled it for that upload date. Anyways, in this one we just saw, as you can see in the background, we just saw Cabin Fever Patient Zero, which is a 2014 non-rated 91-minute horror science fiction thriller from Kari Andrews, who did a segment in ABCs of Death, which I've seen that, or it might be part 2 that's coming out soon. I've seen the first ABCs of Death, and that was a horrible film that was really stupid, but whatever. So we got back from the third entry in the Cabin Fever franchise. The first one I kind of enjoyed. It has its problems. And from an enjoyability standpoint, it's an adequate film. But from a quality standpoint, it's not the best. Cabin Fever 2, I think. Spring Fever is the subtitle. I really enjoyed that one. I thought that was I really loved the second one. Second one blows the first one out of the fucking water. So we got to see the third one, which is, the title suggests, Patient Zero, which means that's 3 parts, 1, 2. Anyways, Cabin Fever Patient Zero is a film about you get to see the beginning portions of the film. You see this underground lair where these people, it seems like they're studying the virus or whatever. It's just, this film is really there for people who desperately want an answer, exposition of sorts, for the virus that was present in part 1 and 2. This film gives those people who want explanations instead of coming up with their own ideas and own theories, which I like that. I prefer that angle where it allows the audience to add to this plot. But this one, it's a fucking prequel, and there's been quite a bit of prequels that, demystify the events of, or, sequels. Jason Goes to Hell is another one where, that totally fucked up the Jason character. But, Cabin Fever 3, I don't really think it really, messed up anything. Apparently it was a rat that this guy infected. Oh, and yeah, and we got that exposition. Didn't really explain much during the duration of the film. We had to wait till little clips that were presented during the duration of the end credits, which is basically what all those cinematic universe Avengers films do. But you get this, and it's crazy editing with that. But the general gist of this film is, pretty much your typical thing. Seriously. Another one that Eli Roth, that was spawned from Eli Roth's creation as in terms of sequel, which is Hostel 3. Pretty much has the same plot, but same plot as this film, but with the torture angle. Basically, Eli Roth wasn't involved in Hostel 3 or Cabin Fever Patient Zero at all, but he wasn't even involved in part 2. To be in all honesty, there's only 2 things Eli Roth has done good, and that's the first Hostel and the Grindhouse trailer Thanksgiving. Those are the only 2 things that I legitimately like from the guy Other than that, if Hostel 2, whatever, I don't really care for that film. But anyways, he didn't really have any involvement with this film, and his characters, unlike, Hostel 3, where the characters of that really, the creative forces, the writers and the directors took a little bit more inspiration from the originator, Eli Roth, with that. This one, there isn't much of inspiration. It's pretty much its own thing, You jump out, you get the typical story. They are going out on a honeymoon. This guy's honeymoon to this remote island, which apparently isn't on a map. And after they realize that, it's not on the map, they just go over to this island. They, find these dead fish carcasses underneath the water. And then you get, you basically get that, and then you see these characters. We realize that one of the characters the person who is on his fucking honeymoon on this remote island, which makes no sense. Who in the hell would go to a remote island for a honeymoon? I don't really understand that. I don't understand the logic there. But anyways, you get that, and then they go over to the remote island, and then they get affected, and then they get they're trying to get a signal, and then we see that they go basically it rips off the little plot angle with, of Cabin in the Woods, with, the underground lair and all this shit. The Cabin in the Woods, yeah, they did a little rip off there, in all honesty. So you get that, and then there isn't really much to these characters. They're just, your generic, out-of-the-bag characters. Sure, they don't really have their, as much annoying traits as the characters in the first Cabin Fever. They're not as annoying as them, but they're pretty much empty characters. They don't really have much there that, really stand out about these people. You just get, typical drama of this person, fuck that girl and everything. It's just pretty much typical drama or whatever. You don't really get nothing really unique in that department. You just get that, and all in all, and you get Sean Astin, who is, immune to all the infections going on, or whatever, the virus. And there's not really much going on with him. He's pretty much really dull. There's nothing really stand out about that. All in all, Cabin Fever 3, Patient Zero is a meh film. It's meh. There's nothing that really stands out. The first one had something that stand out, was a weird film, but had a, pretty, something there. The second one was awesome, that one felt like it had a more focused idea of where it's going. This third one literally had no idea. They just decided, we got that Cabin Fever, let's make another film, the Cabin Fever franchise. Nothing really much. Apparently they were going to make another prequel. Like, they were planning on, shooting this back to back with another which would technically be Cabin Fever 4 in the franchise, and you basically had them planning on doing both these being shot back to back angle, and you just had that, but that really went, apparently they decided to skip on that one, do a Cabin Fever remake. Which, in all honesty, probably is a good idea. Which is probably a good idea, because I think that the idea has potential, and I think a remake could provide a more accurate angle to the Cabin Fever name, and yeah, I just think that it would be a better choice than a sequel with this, because there's nothing really desirable about a sequel. Another thing that's totally missing from this one that, kind of made the previous two work is the party cop. The party cop, the guy who in the first Cabin Fever says, oh, he was in the second one, he was a little bit more resourceful and useful towards the plot of the second one, and there was a little bit more there. There's no party cop here. It's, there's nothing that really remotely, besides the virus angle, that really remotely connects this to the other two Cabin Fever films. And that sucks, because there's really nothing there. There's nothing about this film that's really, oh my god, I gotta see this film. Nothing. It's pretty much copy and paste these certain things, make something, have bland, generic characters. Even if I'm not really a gore hound, if you're like a horror film fan who loves themselves some gore, which I prefer scares and all that stuff. But even if you're like a gore hound, you don't really get much in that department either. You just get this big old pile of pretty much dog doo-doo. Dog doo-doo is the best defining word for this film. It's pretty much dog trash or whatever. It's just not very fucking good. Yeah, it's not very good. Will I give it a second chance? Sure. Sure, I will. You probably rewatch it, and hopefully I'll be amazed with that, but I'm not really amazed, because this film is pretty much lame. Don't really recommend it, but if you want to see a horror film that has like cabin in the title, or a cabin-related things, watch The Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, and Cabin Fever, and you will get your horror cabin fix with those three classic films. You'll get that, and you'll get it more adequate, entertaining films. This one, I don't, silly me, this one's fucking set in an island. It's not really cabin related, but it has cabin in the title, which really proves that they're just, the Cabin Fever name is marketable. So, all in all, I gotta turn off this video soon, but I don't recommend it. Fuck Cabin Fever, Patient Zero. I wish there was more like the fun of part 2, but it isn't there. Pretty much is that's my film. But anyways, thank you guys for watching my second video, where a second in this in year 3 or whatever of my 31 days of horror film reviews. See you 24 hours somewhere within 24 hours of this video's release with my third film. Hopefully it will be better than these, and if you enjoy this video, and if you feel inclined, do the comment jazz, like the video, comment, subscribe, even dislike it if you dislike it. Thank you guys for watching, and yet again, Cabin Fever Patient Zero isn't a worthwhile flick. Bye.